Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! We are going to do a comparison review between the movie and the book Warm Bodies. So let's start with Warm Bodies movie overall thoughts.
I really liked it, and I'm not a zombie person. I don't like the zombie concept normally because it's just really gross and nasty. People dying, eating each other. Not at all something I'm interested in, but I'm so glad that they decided not to kind of go that route, because it was, I mean, yeah, there were some parts that for me where I would, fast forward through, but I just didn't, I don't like the whole zombie nastiness. I'm sure zombie fans are probably a little bit disappointed, but I liked it.
There were not a lot of the gross moments in it, so I really enjoyed that. Even though they would have a feast, you didn't have to see the feast, you just knew the feast was happening, so that was nice. The lead characters, the lead male, lead female, great job, really good job. Also makeup team amazing with the zombie transformation.
I know. I thought that the whole time through, because you really saw the transformation of R. It wasn't just like all of a sudden he looked more human. No, I even noticed, even towards kind of the beginning after he had already met Julie and they had kind of started bonding a little bit, you could already see that he didn't look as pale, he didn't look as gross. I know they painted like veins on him, like his veins seemed to diminish a little bit. I thought it was really, really good.
They did an excellent job.
And Julie was so much better than book Julie.
And may I just say that everyone keeps comparing her to Kristen Stewart. For God's sakes, don't put that on that girl. No. She did a very, very, very good job.
She did a really good job. And a lot of people are saying that she looks like Kristen Stewart. I don't really see it.
In terms of looks, I think she looks like Natalie Portman and sounds a lot like Natalie Portman. I do not think she looks anything like Kristen Stewart.
No.
Moving on. So, we would like to talk about the differences in the book and the film. The main difference was that they stuck with the light-hearted nature of the first portion of the book and left out all of the dark nature in the book.
They did. They left out a lot. They really actually changed a lot in the movie. And overall, I liked the changes.
Oh, yes. They take out the schools. So there isn't a school on either side. The Bonies don't have a school and the humans don't have a school. And so even though that was one dynamic I actually thought was very interesting in the book, I was fine with it being taken out because they took it out on both sides. Had they taken out the Boney school and not the human school, it wouldn't have worked.
Right. And because they decided to go with the quirkiness of the beginning of the book, if you had added in the schools, I know for me, when I saw the comparison of the schools in each different, like the zombie airport and then the city, that's when I really said, okay, I feel like he's really trying to make a comparison about maybe how humanity is today.
But that was taken out of the movie. And I think that that was a vital reason that the movie is going to do well.
Right. I think most people, especially for this kind of movie, it's a zombie who's fallen in love. I mean, the kind of, I don't want to say silliness of it, if you were to put in a lot of deep and thoughtful things into it, I think people would kind of be turned off by that.
Yes. Big, big change at the end.
Yes.
Daddy does not die. Daddy is okay with R. Daddy is nothing like Daddy in the book.
No.
Nothing. And here you have this phenomenal actor that really could have given you those layers of the character in the book. And so it's actually a little shocking that they didn't take him to that deep, dark level, but it wouldn't have worked in this movie.
No.
It would not have worked.
No. I mean, would it make sense for everybody else to be more character-y and then have someone very, very dark and serious? Because in the book he definitely was. Even his end in the book was very dark.
But that is not the way it ends in the movie.
No.
And he is just more the protective father. This is how it is. This is how we must protect ourselves. And it's just very, very different from the reasons he's protective in the book.
Perry's dad dies differently in the movie than he actually does in the book. I'm kind of at a, not really sure how I feel about that. I don't like that he is, he's bitten, so he's turned into a zombie, and so Julie has to shoot him. Mm-hmm. But in the book, he dies because of a fatal construction accident.
Which seemed to be a reason Perry was so conflicted on the idea of being alive.
Yeah, just the purpose of life. Mm-hmm. And in the movie, that struggle is not there for Perry. It's more of a revenge, want to kill the zombies because they're the reason that I don't have my dad anymore. So that was just, it was a decision that they made.
I think they decided to do that because it makes it easier to explain to your audience. It's easier to explain this man wants to kill zombies because his dad became a zombie. He was bitten by a zombie. I think they just wanted to make Perry's character a little easier to understand because, heck, if you read the book, you still don't understand Perry at the end.
Right.
Like, who's Perry?
Right.
What's he doing?
Right. That was the only intriguing part of Perry to me, was that he didn't have a desire to live. And I really would have wanted to know a little bit more about where that came from. And that's not answered in the book, and so that was probably a good decision for the director to change that. And
unfortunately, Perry is the only character we would have recast. We're sorry! It just didn't work for us. No, it just didn't work. No. Maybe next time.
No, he was too much of a pretty boy for me.
Not that being a pretty boy is a bad thing.
No.
It's just not what we would have cast.
No, I saw Perry being a little bit more macho, more manly, more abrupt, and intimidating, which Dave Franco is just not.
God love him.
Sorry, Dave. You're too cute.
Overall, this was a really good movie. It was not the book. It was not the same thing, but it was what it needed to be for a movie audience, and overall it was a very enjoyable movie and perfect release time. Right at Valentine's, quirky, funny little love story.
What could be better than a zombie romance for Valentine's Day?
That just says love.
I don't know that I would go and see the movie again, but I would definitely, if it came on TV, I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
I might would even Redbox it.
It's definitely one that you're going to watch in those kind of scenarios. You're not going to want to buy the DVD.
Right.
Of course, there are some people that are going to want to buy the DVD, but most people are going to say, let me catch that when it comes on FX later.
Nicholas Hoult really made the movie. He was hilarious. I don't think anybody else could have played that part as perfectly as he did. His facial expressions were just to die for. I mean, that really, he's the reason I would ever watch the movie again, because he was so funny.
That's true. He did an amazing job, and it is hard to act through that much makeup and not have any lines. And you're still really enjoying his performance, and you can't look away from him in the scene. You're looking at him the entire scene. He did an excellent job. Recently, I saw him in an interview saying that he chose to keep his eyes very open and not blink. And that's difficult because there are some scenes where it's just a lot of back and forth between the zombies where it's staring, and it's very small changes that are really making you laugh.
Yeah.
And the whole time he's not blinking. I'm like, that's the smallest choice ever that could be so difficult.
I know. I hate he's younger than me.
Warm Bodies turned out to be a happy surprise, and we really enjoyed it, so hopefully you will enjoy it too.
Yeah, so we'll see y'all next time for our next book review.
Would you like to say anything?
No. Jonathan Hoult really made the movie. I'm sorry, I had something.
Jonathan Hoult? Who's that?
That's not his name? Oh, Nicholas Hoult! Nicholas!
Jonathan, who is this Jonathan character?
Sorry, let me start again.
Okay, so what do we want to say?
You got something on your nose.
No! This whole time!
Maybe they can't see it. Oh my god.
What's on my nose? What's on my nose?